Kiwanis, an international organization built on the power of 6,000 local clubs around the world. "1915 was a period of dynamic U.S. growth, set against the background of a world war in Europe. Industrial wealth was growing based on Cleveland's location on the Great Lakes, with plentiful supplies of iron ore and steel manufacturing easily transported on the lakes. Immigrants from Eastern Europe, as well as from the American South, provided the manpower to operate the factories and shipping. Private wealth builds a vibrant education and arts infrastructure that remains even today. Alan S. Brown, a native of Detroit, began a business club in Detroit, typical of gentlemen clubs of the era. 9 months later, the second Kiwanis Club was established in Cleveland, Ohio. The first national meeting of Kiwanis was held in Cleveland in 1916. The new name of Kiwanis International was not adopted until the first Canadian club was established several years later. Even before the second club was established in Cleveland, a critical dispute broke out between those wishing to retain the business trade aspects of Kiwanis versus the service potential of the 300-member club. Community service as the core mission won out in July of 1915 in a gathering at the Teller Hotel in Detroit. But the new club lost most of its 300 members, falling to a membership of only 40. The Cleveland Club was established in the midst of the controversy, but championed the concept of community service. The Kiwanis Club of Cleveland was established in October 1915. The business trading versus service focus would not be resolved by the national organization until several years later. But the Cleveland Club was a leader in establishing the national goal of service as the mission of Kiwanis. The new Cleveland Club was quick to share the Kiwanis message. Today, 12 of its original children are still vibrant clubs. From those children, even more descendant clubs were created. 15 grandchildren clubs are still active, as well as 8 grandchildren clubs. While the creation of Canadian clubs early on made Kiwanis an international organization, in reality Kiwanis was a North American movement until 1963. Nearly 50 years after the founding of the Cleveland Club, Kiwanis became truly international. In 1963, a delegation of Cleveland Kiwanis members traveled to Vienna, Austria, to establish the first Kiwanis Club outside of North America. 50 years later, a delegation of Cleveland Kiwanis members traveled to Vienna in March 2013 to celebrate the Vienna Club's 50th anniversary. The first club outside North America had since spawned clubs all over Europe and the rest of the world. Many representatives of those clubs were present in Vienna. Service continues as a focus of the Cleveland Club. The service tradition of the Cleveland Club continues with several sponsored youth clubs. Pictured here is Cleveland's East Tech Key Club. Its robotic team has received national recognition. Many students have gone on to careers in science and technology. Teaching preschool and early grammar school children to love reading is a special service project of the Cleveland Club. Club members begin the day by reading to youngsters. Then each student is given a book to keep and take home. For some students, this is the only book in their homes. Handicapped children learn to master life skills atop a horse at Fieldstone Farm. The club's Builders Club is based on providing theatrical experiences for hundreds of children. While walking the boards, club members also learn the value of community service. Club members volunteer to judge the Northeastern Ohio Science Fair. Cleveland school students participating in the science fair are chosen for scholarships to carry on their scientific careers. Stepstone Academy is a charter school serving some of the lowest income students in the city of Cleveland. A new project brings together young children learning to make puppets and to present the shows with their creations. The Cleveland Club immediately embraced women as members of the club once rules were changed at the international level. Cleveland's club was among the first clubs to elect a woman president, and several have served since with distinction. Continuing a tradition of reaching out to the other countries of the world began with the founding of the Vienna Club. Students from around the world come together annually at AFS Day. Local talent from area high schools add to the fun of meeting future leaders from around the world. An early member and president of the club was the first director of the Cleveland Metro Park system. Club projects continue to enhance the beauty of our unique Emerald network. Refreshing our own spirits flows from sharing spiritual values, jumping into fellowship events, and enjoying meeting speakers. We have spent the first 100 years building a vibrant tradition of fellowship and service in the greater Cleveland community. It's time to party, to celebrate the past, and get ready for an even more vibrant future. Mark your calendars for Saturday, October 17, 2015. Stop a minute, get out your iPhone, Android phone, or even a paper calendar and mark the date right now. Enjoy the celebration at the Crawford Auto Museum of the Cleveland Western Reserve Historical Society in Cleveland's University Circle. Sip on a refreshing beverage as you wander among an amazing collection of historical vehicles. Visit the classic cars that your dad and grandfather spoke about. While Detroit is known as the car capital of the world, Cleveland built many of the classic cars of the early 20th century. This early convertible was an improvement over a bumpy, smelly horse, and it went slowly enough to hold an umbrella to keep you and your girlfriend dry. A roof on this model made the umbrella no longer necessary. And later we can move up to the classics that required hiring a driver. Finish off your drink and stand in line to ride the Euclid Beach Carousel. This classic carousel was donated to the museum and has been meticulously restored to working condition. Gentlemen may wish to dress in a straw hat, and ladies in a poofy dress to get into the spirit. You might imagine seeing Barker Billy Bigelow from the Maine coast, featured in Rodgers and Hammerstein's play and movie carousel. A spirited ride on this mighty steed will get your appetite ready for dinner. Then move on to dinner. The speeches will be short. The enjoyment of dining with friends old and new will take us all into the night. For dessert, wander back to the lower level of the museum. Smell the rubber and hear the roar of the Indy 500 racers on display. If a classic car or an Indy racer is too slow, you might consider a ride on an early airplane. If your wife's hair will not withstand the wind, try this Cleveland Air Show plane for your ride home. Or you might dally and stay the night in a vintage camping trailer, similar to those enjoyed by Rockefeller, Edison, and Ford on one of their famous trips to the Western National Parks. No matter your vehicle of choice, don't miss the ride of your life. Start by putting the date in your calendar and finish by responding to your invitation, which will be coming soon. Thanks to all our Kiwanis children and grandchildren. Let's all celebrate our glorious past and, more importantly, our exciting future on Saturday, October the 17th.